Hey, what's up everyone? Jason from Canyon Adventure Vans, and today I'm going to do an install on our bed risers. These are Bed Riser Pros. These are the brand new aluminum bed risers that we have. And if you don't know what those are these storage boxes that go on each side in a Winnebago Revel to give you more storage. And one of the quick reasons that we came out with this 5 years ago is we wanted the bed, instead of the bed coming all the way down here, we wanted to be able to put mountain bikes in our van. So we created bed risers that brought the bed up a little higher so you could take the front wheel off and mount your mountain bike inside your van. And then now people are getting it just because it's extra storage, and storage is a premium in a van. So anyways, that's the details on the bed risers. I've been running them in my van since we probably came out with them in 2020, and I love just having the extra storage. I always tell people, if you're like 6'2" or taller, bed risers probably aren't for you unless you're sleeping in a bed by yourself, or you could sleep at an angle, because what happens is your bed raises and your walls go inward. But other than that, I love having them. I couldn't imagine not having that extra storage. So when you get your box, it's gonna say on here, Pro Series. This is for the driver's side, and this one is a door bungee. You can get them door to door, etc. This particular one we're building is for the new 25 Revel. And then not only as we're building this for the Revel right now, these are also for the Jayco's, the Jayco Terrain, the Entegra launch, the Tiffin GH1, and then of course the Revel 21 through 24, the 25 Revel, and the new 25 Revel Sport, which, if you don't know, the new Revel Sport is rebranded, and it's basically this Revel. This is a 22 Revel, and it's basically the same thing. But now they have the 25 Revel and then the 25 Revel Sport. All right, so these are your faces. These are the fronts of them. Super lightweight. That's the other nice thing about all the aluminum that we're doing. It's an 1/8 of an inch aluminum, powder coated. You can get them again with bungees or doors, but they're super lightweight, and you get tons of extra storage compared to our older models. I'll break everything out, put it on the table for you, and explain what it is before I start putting it together. And then these are the tops, half the top, the other half. These will be the ends. And then here, this is the door. So we're gonna copy this. We're gonna go door, and then we'll go bungee like so. And then the end pieces, and then this is the centerpiece that basically goes like this. And this attaches everything together. And then of course you have your ends as well. So all the ends have these tops on them here. And then these will just go right in like so. You can only go one way, right? So this will go in here just like that. And then this one. So I like to get them all laid out first. Just make sure everything's a go. Get all the hardware out. And then this top piece, this will be one of the last pieces. And then this one basically goes on top here, so you can have the other top go onto here. So this will be one of the last things that we put on. Okay. 3 of these. And then before you crank these down, you also want to just make sure that the face is flush. So there's a little bit of play in here, not a whole lot, but you want to just make sure that that face is nice and flush. And then we have our, let's make sure we got the right one. 7/16, yeah. So we'll get them close before I start tightening these way down. If you have a drill and a hex bit as well, you can knock this thing out really quick. So when we install them here at the shop for customers or any of our dealer network, when they're installing them, they're using a drill and they can knock this out pretty darn quick. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that this face is flush. You're not going to have very much to adjust, but just checking it when you're putting it on here, it'll just make the install look cleaner. All right. Now we'll go on to the end panels. All right, let's go to the other side. All right, we got both ends on, the front's on, everything's flush, looks great. Next, we're gonna install these. These are these little kickstands. And the reason we came out with these is when you put this on top of the shelf here in a Revel, it's never level, it's always, you know, it's plastic, so it can veer down, it can be at an angle or whatever. So we put these up there, and then that way, they have these little rubber stoppers. And then basically what you can do is adjust this, slide it up and down, so you're, you know, if you put your bed risers up there and screw down and they're leaning like this, that'd look silly. So it enables you to get them nice and straight and lined up with everything else in your van by just sliding these up against the wall after you bolt it down to the shelf. So I'm going to tighten those, but I'm not going to tighten them too much. Just get them where I can adjust them still, and then be able to tighten them down with a couple turns. All right, that part's done. All right, so now let's put this piece on, and then basically this piece goes right here, okay, and then that way this top can go in here and bolt down. But to put this piece on, we want to put it on here, so I accidentally put this bolt and nut on, so I'm going to take that off. Now I'm going to put this back on and run that through there, and then put the nut on. Okay, let me crank that down, get it a little tight. All right, and then we'll take another bolt and nut, and you'll see here there's a hole. So we'll line that up. And you could just build this all on the table before you put it together, because this piece has to get bolted onto this. So I got a little ahead of myself, but either way, not a big deal. And then this has a groove. It has, the holes are cut out with grooves, so there's a little bit of adjustment, but what we want is this nice and flush. So I just want to get that nice and flush. And you could use a little square to clean that up. Let's crank this one down. So basically what's going to happen is when you put this other top on, you want to be able to have it where it's nice and flush, although your bolster is going to cover it up anyways, but still we want it to be perfect. We aim for perfection every time. All right, so that's that. Now, the next step is we're gonna put these tops on, and they can pretty much only go one way. So these PEM studs are gonna drop right down into those grooves. They might be a little sticky, but you can pop them right in there. Fit nice and snug in there. And then there's adjustment on here, so you can see this right here, this little spacer, so I can adjust this. See how that is? So there's play with all this. So let me get this one on there before I start cranking everything down. All right. That's in there good. All right, so one of the things too, a little pro tip on this is everything's in. I'm gonna flip it upside down to start tightening these. But a little pro tip is If you keep this piece here loose that we installed, instead of tightening it down with these 3 bolts and nuts, keep it a little bit loose so that way you have play when you're putting these PEM studs in the slots. Otherwise, if it's really tight, it makes it harder. So what I did is I just went back in, loosened it up a little bit, kind of moved it so I could do it by myself, and then tighten everything back. So that's the pro tip, is just leave that centered loose. It's still loose, so I'm gonna come back in now and tighten everything. And then if you flip it upside down, you can come in here and then get all of these nuts hand tightened before you go back in with your drill or socket or wrench. So you're just gonna do this across the board and just get everything started. And then I'll come back in and tighten everything. All right, so last one. Everything's nice and snug. I got all the plates on. I have my kickstands on to adjust everything. And that is it. That is your bed riser. We have a video. We'll put that link in the description below on the install video of putting it inside your van. Very simple, but once you get it all built, it's really easy, super lightweight, tons of storage, and I think you'll really appreciate the storage capacity and capabilities of it. So that is the bed risers. That, again, that'll work for the Jaycos, Entegras, the Revels. There's different versions. The only thing that really changes is the top. The Jayco's top is different, the regular Revel's different, and the 25 Revel is different. The 25 Revel has this little cutout here, this little notch, but the rest of it, it's all pretty much the same. And then I'm also going to have a video for the 2025, it has a 7-inch storage box that this sits on. So I'm gonna make that video as well. So if you do have a 25 Revel, watch that video on how that goes together and then how this bed riser gets bolted onto there as well. So if you like these videos, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. We'll keep them coming. We got a lot of videos coming out. We have a whole new vision for 2025 with our videos and our marketing and stuff like that. So it's only gonna get better. We appreciate all your support, and we'll see you on the next video.